Okay, guys, this one was an example from the homework that we really struggled with. And what it is, it's a derivative of f of x, and we're actually going to be using the chain rule here because you have a function raised to a power. So when you take the derivative here, we're going to start with the chain rule, and the second part, or this chain here, when we take the derivative, we're going to bring that 3 out front, and that's simply going to be multiplied to what's inside, okay? X squared plus 1. And we're subtract 1 off the power, so that's 2. And now we got to take the derivative of the inside function. However, the derivative of the inside function is going to be the quotient rule. So we're going to have bottom times the derivative of the top, which actually turns out to be pretty easy. Be careful here, the minus sign, top times the derivative of the bottom, which is 2x, the derivative of the bottom, all over bottom squared. So x squared plus 1, and that's being raised to the second power. So you've taken the derivative. So this part, remember, when you do the chain rule, this is actually really, chain rule is part of power rule, and then times the inside function. And the inside function happens to be a quotient, so we use the quotient rule. Now what you can do is clean up the numerator here, and I'm actually going to clean up the first function too. And because I see this being raised to a power of 2, and I see this denominator and this denominator matching, let's just rearrange this function. Using the quotient to a power rule, we're going to have 3x squared divided by the quantity x squared plus 1, and that's going to be raised to the second power. So the power went to both the numerator and denominator. Now, when you clean up this function here, that's not much of a multiplication sign there. When you clean up this numerator, you're just going to have x squared plus 1 minus 2x squared. So you're going to have negative x squared plus 1 all divided by x squared plus 1 squared. Now, when you multiply two numbers with the same base, you add their exponents. So this denominator is actually going to become x squared plus 1 to the fourth power. Okay, there's the bases, the similar bases. Now we can just multiply the 3x squared to both terms here, distributive property. So we're really going to have 3x squared minus 3x to the fourth. Okay, and you have to be really careful when you distribute because it's multiplication, so 3 has to be multiplied to the negative x squared term, and then 3 would have to be multiplied to the 1 term. I did not write this in standard form because it's just easier this way. I just did the minus sign, so it's 3x squared minus 3x to the fourth. So there is your derivative of that function. So if you guys have any questions or comments about the video, go ahead and email me, okay? We'll talk to you soon.